Do you know what I saw? Do you know what I saw the other day? Have you seen that ice cream taster?
No.
I bet you have.
What?
I have a video of it. He's a professional ice cream taster.
Oh, is
like,
it the
take
baby?
it right off the top. No.
Okay,
the baby.
Have you just seen the baby in the ice cream?
Professional ice cream taster.
Professional baby
I'll
ice
find
cream
it.
taster.
And he like tastes it. Sonia hates when people smack their lips when they eat. Like, hates it. And this guy literally puts a spoon in his mouth and he's like, aerated.
Oh yeah, I know that.
You do know it.
Yeah,
It's
this sounds
fucking
good.
I'll show you.
It's not nice.
It's so weird. Like,
It's super weird.
but because I was like, why is he doing this? He's a professional ice cream taster.
Maybe that's... Well, yeah, none of us are professional ice cream tasters, so...
What we do is take a small amount right off the top. It doesn't take much. That's the warmest part right here. I'm going to invert the spoon. Cover all 9,000 taste bud. Aerate it. Warm it up. Driving up that top note. That cream. Pure vanilla. Sweetness. That's a 10.
That's 10.
That's a 10. Okay, yeah. Well, that's got me warmed up. That's a 10. Alright, I have to slip that into the podcast, so...
Go and compete.
Hello, and welcome to the 6th Put 'em Under Pressure podcast. We have the full crew back and ready to go. I'm joined by my good friend, Connor.
Hi. Actually, shit. You know,
Okay.
I should have said this before. You know, I have like a mouthpiece in now, so I have.
Oh, really? No, I
yeah,
didn't know
I got a.
So I should just not talk to you.
No, it's alright. It's just in case you're wondering why is he talking like that.
Oh, no.
You didn't even notice,
I
did
didn't
you?
even notice.
Yeah, he's really conscious
You've made
of it.
me conscious.
Well, now when I'm talking at length, you'll probably notice it. But I'm saying my S's. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Anyway,
It's been half hour. And I
sorry.
didn't
Yeah.
notice it,
Okay.
so it's
Well, you
all
can
good.
do it
That was a
again.
good intro. You could probably keep that.
We'll keep that. So just.
I'll just say from...
I'm
joined.
I'll just even say hi.
Okay.
And we'll just go from there.
Fair.
Hi.
And... Oh, God, no, sorry. Okay, try that again. I was like... What was I expecting?
Such a forced hi. Hi.
Someone got a gun to my head.
Just
Talk about football, you mug.
Just edit in Adrian's height for yours, okay?
Alright, now I'll do it again. Hi. Jesus. Of course, like. Perfectly fine. Hi. Alright, one more time.
No, I'm not ready.
What if
I'm
I
not
say
ready.
like, "Hey Flynn"?
No, we're gonna finish this. We're gonna get through it.
Okay, wait. Okay.
Fuck's sake. Okay.
I can sound normal.
Yeah, dude.
You can. But you are sounding normal, it's just I can't.
I know. It just feels there's too much of a gap. Just
listen to how normal I deliver this now. Hi. Anyway, normal. That was a bit sexy, alright. Okay, one more time. Last time.
Maybe say something other than hi.
Oh god, it'd be worse. Okay, hang on, alright.
Guten Tag.
Okay.
Oh man.
We have to keep this.
Alright, hang on. Here we go. Hello. That's fine. We're just gonna keep going anyway. I'm leaving all that in.
Yeah, please do. And Adrian.
Hi.
So for once we're actually ahead of the fixtures. It's the winter break, the beginning of the winter break. There's a big storm outside, but we're ready to sit down, spend a couple hours to take a look over the past month or so of football and look ahead to the upcoming fixtures. So I guess we'll kick off. We're just out of the January transfer window. A little bit underwhelming, I would say. I guess the January windows aren't the same as what they used to be when you had like Rubino being rushed through customs at
Torres.
5 minutes and Torres. So maybe a little bit of a letdown, but maybe that's the norm. But how did you guys think the transfer windows went in general and for your teams as well?
For Arsenal, my team, it was a very weird window because they signed a Spanish centre back
Yep.
on loan from the Brazilian league who was playing in the Spanish second division 6 months ago.
Yes.
And they also signed Cedric from Southampton, who's going on a free in the summer. He wasn't being played for Southampton.
No.
They're paying a loan fee and his wages, and he's injured.
Pretty Arsenal.
I really don't understand either of these.
No.
But alright.
Maybe Mikel Arteta owes people favours.
That's the only thing. The centre back Pablo Mari, Arteta worked with him at City. He came from City's academy or something.
Okay. Yeah, I think when I saw that signing, or the line up to that signing, I thought, you know what, this is future planning. It's good investment by Arteta. I think down the line, well, Arsenal need defenders always, regardless of the situation.
The only thing I like about it is they're both officially loans. They're not purchased, so if they don't work, I think it's not.
Yeah, you can give up.
Cut your losses.
And that seems to be the thing now, isn't it? That more clubs are loaning rather than purchasing players. And I guess it is for that. When you demand such a high fee in terms of wages, that maybe you want to try before you buy. And
players, when they get put on huge wages, it's like they can't shift them.
Yeah.
So it's like, we'll just take the wages. We'll take anything that you can get, so we'll just loan them to someone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Cedric was a strange one. I mean, no one.
Yeah.
I don't know many players that have been purchased while injured.
I know another example is Kim Kallstrom joined Arsenal on loan about 8 years ago at this point, and his back was fractured. So I don't know how he passed medical when he couldn't fucking walk. But he only played one game for Arsenal, or I think he played a couple of games, but he scored a penalty in a shootout in the FA Cup that year to get to the final, where Arsenal won the cup. So he's fondly remembered for that. Kim Kallstrom, Arsenal cult hero.
Yeah, legend. Still have the jersey with his name on the back.
Yeah, some people do. Some people unironically do. Yeah,
I'm sure they would. Bit like David and Go. I used to see kids walking around Cork with a David and Go Liverpool shirt.
Probably just the one kid though. Surely, just everywhere.
There's my neighbour. Yeah,
some all time. Or he's following kids.
Both worrying.
Yeah, I thought it
one
was
more concerning than the other.
I thought it was a really weird kind of window. I think the Chelsea thing. You know the way Chelsea had that transfer ban.
Yeah.
Imagine being working for Chelsea and your job is get this fucking ban lifted. You fight tooth and nail to get this ban lifted.
Yeah.
And you get it lifted for the transfer window, and they don't do anything.
Yeah.
How fucking ridiculous!
I know, but
how ridiculous.
Are they? Do they really need signings though? Did they really? I mean, they're doing right.
But I think Chelsea have done pretty well this season considering that ban.
Yeah.
And I think the fans have been really kind to them. You know, top four, for them to be in top four, considering they lost Hazard and all these kind of things, is really good. And the change of manager, it's all really good. I don't think they're going to be that forgiving if they don't finish top four now.
Yeah.
Because they had the chance to strengthen.
It's a bit of a risk.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I think it's really strange. They maybe they're happy enough to go with the younger players, but they surely, I mean, they don't play Giroud or Batshuayi, so they surely need another striker. Abraham seems to be getting injured and recovering very luckily, but that's not going to keep happening, you know?
No.
And maybe they're happy to keep Mount, but they surely need another attacker, surely.
Maybe. But what I mean, from what I'm seeing, is that apparently it was quite difficult to make deals in January. There was a lot of agents demanding high fees or high wages, and I don't know. It's kind of a sticky situation to get into.
I have no doubt that January is harder than the summer, but Chelsea are rich as fuck. Don't forget that they're rich as fuck. They can get in whoever they want.
Yeah, I guess so. They're not the only club not to bring anyone in, but Liverpool, am I right in saying, had
Minamino.
Yeah. Well, I mean that was so long ago. I guess that.
Yeah, but it was over the window. I think that was good business, even though he hasn't done much. But they needed there was lots of talk of who would cover for the front three if something happened, and he can kind of do that. Like Shaqiri can do that, but he's been injured a lot. Chamberlain isn't really a winger anymore, so they needed someone who can do a Firmino thing.
Okay.
And I think he's kind of seen as that. And he's young. He's pretty young. He's 23, 24. So.
And he's Japanese.
Yeah.
Shirt sales.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of regarded as people who say that Liverpool brought him in for the shirt sales are assholes kind of thinking. But it does help. And they seem to go to Asia a lot.
Yeah, well, this is it. Surely it's going to help now in the tours that they do.
But he is a good player, and he made mincemeat of Liverpool when they played Salzburg.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
But I think it's really weird that Klopp would just see a guy twice and be like, we should get him. But the release clause was like 8 million and no one knew it.
Well, yeah, that was the thing. So,
they probably spend that.
I mean, on the fee, it's good business, regardless of whether he turns out well or not, considering the value of some players now.
Yeah, so. But other than that, I mean, they didn't really need to strengthen too much.
No.
They have a pretty good squad.
When you're cruising the league, I don't think you need to panic buy.
He could improve on Henderson, I think.
Ooh, well, we'll get to him. We will get to him.
You goddamn son of a bitch.
Non-Premier League related, but Inter Milan had a good window. They seem to pick up United's players. And Christian Eriksen.
Are they top of the league?
I think they're like 2 points or something.
A few points behind Juve. So they're really going for it. But I mean, is Ashley Young a signal for intent?
Yeah, there's so many United not rejects, but Lukaku, Sanchez, Young,
Smalling's at Roma.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It is.
And they all look much better.
They all are way better, and I don't think that's saying that the Serie A is a worse quality. I think it says more for the teams that's selling them.
Lukaku is the fastest player to ever reach 20 goals for Inter.
Wow.
In their history.
And they had like Ronaldo
and Crespo and all these lads, and
that's pretty good. But he does look like
I always rated
like
Lukaku.
A different player, completely different player when I watch him for Inter.
You wonder what they're doing to him at United. Like United are making like the old Liverpool. Remember, like Liverpool would buy like a class striker like Morientes or
Voronin.
Yeah, exactly.
Joke, by the way, but
even like Andy Carroll. I know Andy Carroll is a donkey now, but at the time he was fucking class.
He was a class
and
donkey.
They made shit of him. But United are doing the same with Sanchez and Lukaku and more that I can't think of.
It has to be tactical, right?
Surely.
Because
even he was playing really well for Belgium. Remember he played shit hot at the World Cup for Belgium.
Yeah, well, they have a waste man as manager. Like, Ole is a stooge, an absolute brainless puppet.
But they had Mourinho as well with Lukaku.
He's not far off, and I like him. But he's also got dinosaur tactics.
Mourinho's washed up. He's bald now as well.
I saw that.
What?
He's bald, yeah.
Shaved. You guys saw the clip of when him and his assistant realised that who was on a... Oh, Sterling was already on a yellow. Gas, that little sprint.
He knew he was on camera.
He did, yeah.
He's like, I gotta play this up.
He's like, gotta get in there for the memes, you know?
People eat that up about him year after year. It's like, also when he makes a show of things in post-match press conferences and he says something really stupid and people are like, he's taking the pressure off the players.
Yeah.
How many years have we been saying this? And not only does it not seem to work, it just makes him look like a fucking clown every time.
It shows you how much you can live off a reputation.
Yeah.
And I like Mourinho, don't get me wrong. And I think we spoke about this a couple podcasts ago. But he's definitely living off the the eccentric, causing drama manager that he really doesn't.
But Tottenham are doing better since he came in. It's not that he's all of a sudden a bad manager. They're doing
okay-ish.
But they're doing
draws
better.
against Norwich when they were losses against Norwich. So
yeah, they are doing like.
I think they're still pretty shit at the moment. But.
Well, I do too, but that doesn't mean that Pochettino is doing better than Mourinho. You know, I'm just stating the facts.
This is going to be. I should know this. Pochettino hasn't found a new job, right?
No.
Next Palace manager, please.
Apparently, Barca were talking to him.
Really?
Yeah. Even though he swore he'd never manage Barca.
I mean, I swear a lot of things that if I got a big fat paycheck for him, I'd be
until the knock at
licking
the door.
Boots. So we just mentioned them there, I guess, but there was two notable transfers for United in this window. maybe Solskjaer's preferences, maybe Director of Football's preferences, who knows. But there was Fernandes and Igalo. Strange signing the latter.
He can't even leave China right now, can he?
No.
Yeah.
They're not letting him go to Spain.
China.
They're not letting him go to Spain where the team are doing like a warm climate training session for fear that he'll get caught from Spain to England in immigration. So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of layers to that signing.
That guy is 30 now. Did you know that? He's 30. And he was good with Watford when he was there, but
Yeah.
fucking hell. It literally seems like they just went, we need any striker.
Is this a
Any
loan
striker.
or did they buy him?
It's a loan.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the worst. Though.
No, it's not the worst, but it's so, like...
Well, actually, he's a bit shit, but, you know.
But would you not like...
He's not that... His goal record is actually really good. Even since he left in China, he's still scored like, I don't know, like 40 goals in 60 games or something.
Yeah.
No, I know it's China, but the guy can score. But
would you
I had forgotten he existed.
Yeah. But this is the thing, is that there's a lot of players in the Chinese Super League
Yeah.
that played in a lot of big teams that are kind of just, I mean, getting paid well.
Was
but-
Cavani not available?
Well, this is the thing, is that you don't even need, like, that Cavani might not want to make the step down, because let's be honest, it's a step down, right, to United. But why not look, if you're just looking for someone who's going to be a filler striker, someone who's found the net in the past,
Yeah.
why not look for, like, a lower half of the table Premier League team? Why not go for Jermaine Defoe? Do you know what I mean? Jermaine Defoe would do the business. They're near enough the same player, by the way. Similar age.
Well, Igalo is massive, though. Well, when I say he's massive, he's like 6'2".
Yeah.
And Jermaine Defoe is not. But yeah, I do. I think if we sat here for the next 5 minutes and tried to think of it, we could come up with a better transfer than that.
Yeah.
Get Danny Ings.
Get the top
something,
scorer from the Championship. Someone like
Yeah.
that, you know, what teams used to do.
Get Jordan Rhodes.
Jordan Rhodes.
Yeah.
Open up the crypt.
It's such
FIFA 10's favourite.
like patching. What's that fucking phrase? Filling.
It's all about finding a balance.
No, patching over the cracks. Help me out here. Cut this.
Not much of a phrase.
It is, you know. Filling.
Papering over the cracks.
Papering over the cracks. There we go. Yeah.
Ah.
That's a phrase.
It's so.
That's a 10.
It's just.
That's a phrase.
But it is
Nice.
just papering over the cracks, like, isn't it? Like
It is,
Oh,
completely.
Rashford is injured. Let's get fucking Igalo, who everyone forgot about for 6 months. Might not even play. Like, will he?
Might not. Yeah, it might be.
Might be
That's
in
it.
China for the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, just get someone in who you can use. Like,
Yeah.
use for more than 6 months. I don't know. I
Christian
think it's-
Benteke. Use him forever.
I mean, even
32
just
million.
play Greenwood more. Like,
Well, this is it. This is what baffles me sometimes. I'm kind of dipping into Palace a bit here too, right? But with so many injuries in so many positions, and yet we're playing James MacArthur at right back, and you're like, just give one of the under 20s a chance.
is
How
there
bad
no one-
can they do?
yeah, is there no one in the youth academy?
Yeah, it's like, how can, like, United, I know they do it and they have had great academies in the past, but you can't stand by your academy. I know they're bringing some players up, but like, it's supposed to be for in times of desperation. The 19-year-old gets a chance.
I will say, and I think they wanted like a kind of target man option, which I totally understand. But surely there's better target guys.
Connor Wickham.
Yeah,
Honestly,
get Andy Carroll.
we
get
gave him
fucking
away to
anyone.
Sheffield Wednesday. We would have given him to United.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, bad
Fellaini.
bad
Get
bit of
Fellaini back.
business. But I will say Fernandes is a bit of a.
He's lively.
Is it a coup?
A swoop.
A coup?
Coup
Coup.
d'etat.
A coup is like
coup.
when like you overturn the government, isn't it?
No, but it's the same. It's like, yeah, I think it's the French for strike.
Yeah.
Like, isn't it?
And coup is also the noise a pigeon makes.
It is. What other animals can you name?
It's a wood pigeon.
Animal sounds.
But yeah, Fernandes. Look, any guy who scores like 35 goals has to be worth a punt.
Right.
What was he? 60 million in the end.
Something like
That's
that.
fairly. That's on the button. I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
My only fear is that
26.
like it's putting someone electric in a very, very stale team.
It's what they need, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you see that clip where he was literally pointing for where Jesse Lingard should have gone for like the advanced pass, and Jesse Lingard just runs the opposite way? It's like that must be every training session for for Ole Gunnar
Did you
Solskjaer.
see Solskjaer going, Jesse, one more time,
Yeah.
you're fucking off.
Yeah, I saw that.
I love that.
That's the angriest I've ever seen him in my life.
But like, he
You
must
wouldn't be scared of him though, like, would you?
No, I mean, what's he gonna do? Like,
Yeah. He's like that PE teacher who you'd be like, nah, like
Yeah,
just give
yeah.
us the fucking ball.
Just give
We're
us
not,
the football,
we're not
yeah.
playing
Yeah.
badminton.
Put those fucking
playing badminton.
put those fucking cones back.
Shove him over.
Let's try Alex.
Oh my
He's
God.
like, you call me Mr. Murphy. Like, nah, Alex.
Yeah, Alex.
That is a good way of describing him. He's like a substitute teacher.
Yeah. Fuck on Ollie Solskjaer.
Jesus.
My son.
Fuck Ollie, yeah. Wow. He'd do a better job, probably.
Probably.
More intimidating.
I suppose
Looks older.
we'll double back a bit because I know you mentioned him perhaps prematurely, but Jordan Henderson for the PFA Player of the Year.
Yeah,
Am I right?
He's favourite.
No.
He's favourite.
Right, well.
Well, do you know what I will say
People voted for Hitler as well.
is didn't Scott Parker win that a few years ago when he was like relegated with Fulham?
Yeah.
And that was a pure. It wasn't down to he was the best player in the league. It was down to like, let's give Scott Parker a bit of a pat on the back and like, you're a good lad. And they did the same with Giggs when he was like fucking 36 because he had never won it. It's the same thing. He's not the best player in the league or hasn't been the best player in the league. He has been very good this year. And I think it's that kind of like, look, you had a shit time. Everyone shot all over you. Now you've won the European Cup. You've won the Premier League.
Not yet.
Well, whatever.
It's true though. It's true, but the PFA is the Players Football Association, right?
Yeah.
So it is. It's mates voting for mates. That's why Parker and whatnot get it. I mean, I quite like Jordan Henderson. I mean, he's landed on his fucking feet in the greatest team we've probably seen in the Premier League. But he is a manager.
City from last year were better, and the year before were better. I'm just saying. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Liverpool will probably beat their points though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If things stay as they are, they will be. If they don't match the points, if they don't better the Invincibles,
They'd have to go and beat. Yeah.
and not draw like 12 games.
Well, I will say there's a lot of expectation of Liverpool doing a treble or going invincible. There's a long way to go before that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't expect that. No. I honestly don't. But I think they probably will beat City's, what was it, 101 points? I think they'll beat that.
Yeah, I think so too. Someone
Flynn absolutely seething here for anyone that can't see it.
Someone asked the question before of that,
Snaky wins.
that I guess Henderson plays the same role for Liverpool as De Bruyne does for Man City. Who would you prefer?
De Bruyne.
He doesn't play the same role. That's ridiculous.
They are
I prefer De
on a
Bruyne
pitch.
socks
Yeah.
over Henderson.
Are you basically saying they're both midfielders?
Well, they are, right?
Yeah, they are, but like they're totally different types
They're
of midfielders.
both deep lying playmakers. Just De
Henderson-
Bruyne does it better, so you think he's more attacking.
But you know, Henderson has played like
Yeah, everywhere.
number 8, like what you call it, deep lying midfield. What's a better word for that? Defensive midfield.
Defensive midfield.
He's played right back. He's played centre back. De Bruyne hasn't done any of that.
Yeah, because De Bruyne knows his role, whereas John Henson's been a bit of a
No, he's been put there.
jack of all trades,
Yeah,
master
he
of
doesn't
none.
get
You know?
shifted around because
Yeah,
they know what he's good at.
yeah.
I think Henderson's had a better season than De Bruyne.
No way.
Why not?
for
But
his
because
team.
because of the team, yes, not for the numbers.
Well, the numbers is
Talking
bigger
individuals.
for an individual award. Yeah.
But he doesn't play the same as De Bruyne. That's a ridiculous
Okay.
thing to say. No, because
let's find another comparison.
Xhaka.
Well, okay, John Henderson.
but see, he. Give me a second. I'm so angry.
Get it all together.
Come on, get it out.
Because Liverpool score their goals from the front three and the fullbacks act as the creators. So the midfielders are doing
Irrelevant.
a totally different job. So because they don't score many goals doesn't mean De Bruyne's better because he gets amazing assists, and he does. But that's like Trent's job. So Henderson is doing a totally different job. A lot of the time he's just covering Trent. Or, that's what he was doing at the start of the season. Now he's playing in the deep lying midfield where he's nearly part of a back three. Which is totally different to De Bruyne, who's playing as like a 10,
Okay,
nearly.
so similar to Fernandinho.
Yeah.
And which would you prefer of the two?
Henderson.
Fernandinho.
Oh, deciding vote.
Fabinho was considered not by me. This wasn't my view. This was a view among the
Liverpool
footballing
fans.
people that he was the best defensive midfielder in Europe before he got injured.
What was that, like 3 games?
Fabinho was out for like 2 months.
No, how long was he even playing that well, though? Really?
All of last season, and
He wasn't even playing all last season.
Well, when they won the European Cup, he was pretty good.
Alright.
Okay.
And when he got injured, there was panic, and Henderson has done that job, and they've actually had better results, I think, since he stepped into that role. So,
Tells you how overrated Fabinho is, doesn't it?
Yeah, I get
what's Fernandinho done this season?
pretty much the same as what you quoted as Henderson, where he's covering someone else. He's playing centre back sometimes if he needs to.
A lot.
Off the ball.
Terribly, might I add.
Off the ball, and off the pitch, Henderson every day of the week.
Off the pitch?
Like he's a leader. Like apparently, you hear all the stories coming out of like the training grounds, the motivating players, being like the arm around the shoulder for the younger players. Brilliant. You need that. Bit like a 33-year-old Roy Keane. On the pitch, though, Jordan Henderson at his prime is probably like at a retiring.
Oh,
Roy Keane.
right. Oh, okay. Like he's an out-of-date Roy Keane.
Kind of.
Alright.
Kind of. And
I mean, look,
So.
Klopp and Southgate and Dalglish and fucking Rodgers, they've all played him, if not made him captain. Do you know? They can't all be wrong.
he must be shining.
Yeah, he's
shoes.
sucking all their dicks. Yeah.
It's the only explanation.
He's only got
Speaking
3
of
holes.
which, he had a baby today.
Yes.
9 months
Yes.
and a day after Liverpool came back from the Barca game.
Nice.
And so did Salah. They
Yes.
both had babies today.
Not
Exactly
9
months.
only wasn't only corners being taken quickly.
Jesus
Christ.
Goodness.
So I guess, Adrian, you would have mentioned to us earlier that you got quite passionate when you were having to think about Arsenal when you were driving today.
Which
is strange.
I talked to myself a lot in the car.
Fair.
I was just thinking of. Do you know how many games Arsenal have won this season?
Oh, like very few, right?
Yeah, 6.
Wow.
I mean, to
Yeah.
put that in context, Chelsea, who in fairness are 4th, have scored or won 12.
Yeah.
And I was kind of wondering why. I don't have a definite answer other than they're just not as good. But I was thinking, it's only a few months ago that we were sitting here in these exact chairs, and you were saying that. I'm talking to Connor now. And,
Yeah.
and you were saying you thought it was pretty good business. And at the time, I didn't disagree.
What was good business?
The summer transfer window.
Oh, yeah.
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 At the time, it seemed like really good business. And why does it seem so terrible now? I think... Well, look, Tierney got an injury. You can't really...
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah. So I
He's a good
kind of
player.
understand... I know we're backtracking a bit, but Cedric? Yes. I nearly called him Cedric. Is it Cedric?
Like
It
James.
might be. It is
Yeah.
accented.
Yeah. So, anyway, that guy. I kind of understand that because they feel like they might need someone in
I
that
don't
cover.
really understand it.
Well, you know,
Anyway,
I don't.
but
whatever.
Maitland-Niles has been playing right back for about 10 years now.
Yeah.
And he's not a right back.
Yeah.
And he's their starting right back because Bellerin's been out for like 12 months.
Well,
But-
since Bellerin's returned, I think Arsenal have looked better defensively, and Bellerin is still a great player. So,
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah, and I think they have had some tough injuries. But the David Luiz, whatever. I just can't fucking get my head around it. At the time, we were like, makes total sense. But Arsenal are really good going forward, and kind of always have been, really. Like,
Well,
they've one of the
yeah.
best strikers in the league, if not, like, 2 of the best
Attacking players. Yeah.
attacking players in the league.
Yeah.
So why they went out and got Pepe, whatever, that's their thing. Maybe they thought it was a long-term project. The fucking David Luiz thing, how we were here going, makes total sense. He was cheap, he has experience. They need like a solid defender. This is such a stupid thing to say, but bear with me. They need like a Van Dijk kind of player to come in and just shore everything up. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when Konchesky,
just a no nonsense defender.
when
Basically,
Konchesky Konchesky was that left back.
he was. Yeah.
Konchesky,
Hudson signing.
when he left, they needed someone to replace him. But they got in like the most erratic defender in the whole league.
When he's good, though, he's real good. I do like that.
You know,
Luis, but
he's
yeah.
actually been fine since Arteta came in. Really, since Emery's been gone. I think David Luiz has been actually quite good.
I think I've seen it on BT Sport.
But you're leaking goals. You can't be that fucking good.
It's
They're
better,
not really
way
leaking
better.
goals, really. In fact,
Games are a lot closer now for Arsenal.
now the defence is not really a concern for me at the moment.
What's the concern then?
Chance creation is...
Lack of confidence with
There's-
Lacazette as well.
Well, Lacazette hasn't scored in like 50 games or whatever the fuck, but they're just not creating chances. Like, they can hold the ball fine, and they... Like, under Emery, it was madness. It was like playing fucking pinball with 3 balls going. Like, it was bing, bang, bong.
Yeah.
Fucking, we concede 50 shots on target per game to, like, Watford or something. And you'd be like, what the fuck am I watching here? This is absolutely absurd that we're getting run over by, like, Nottingham Forest Town B or something. They'd be fucking... Every team we'd play against, no matter who it was, any league, European, Europa League, League Cup, anyone you'd play, they'd have 50 shots.
Yeah.
Like, they would just create chances. And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching here? This is absurd. So, since he got fired, I hold no ill will towards him, but, you know, it really wasn't going well.
Yeah.
So, since then, they haven't been conceding as many absurd amounts of chances. I mean, even if it's bad, they're not conceding absurd amounts of chances per game. But they're also not creating a whole lot, because it's like, under Arteta, he plays pretty high press, so he kind of tries to win the ball back very quickly. And they do that pretty well for about half an hour per game, but then they get knackered, and they're like, shit, we've used all our energy, and now we have to play another 60 minutes or something. I think they'll improve as they get more into the tactics, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I think so.
They're so... I can't... And I'm not trying to stick the knife in here. They're so far off. So far off getting top 4.
For sure.
And I genuinely think, like, we sat, not here, but a few years ago, when the podcast, before we took a break for like a fucking year,
Yeah.
and we talked about the Arsenal squad, and we were like, that guy needs to go, 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 they need to bring in this, and this. They haven't gotten rid of a lot of those players.
It's a ship made out of dead wood.
It really is. Like, there needs to be a huge overhaul.
And I think there will be this summer.
Do you think?
I think there was a good overhaul last summer as well, or even recently. They have been getting rid of a lot of shit players. Walcott, Iwobi, fuck it. I wouldn't say Koscielny is shit, but he was fucking 34 or
But
something.
he was
and he also wanted to
toxic
leave
as well, yeah.
But what my Koscielny argument isn't that like they basically replaced him with David Luiz, which is again papering up the cracks. Did I get it right?
Over.
Fucking hell, man.
You're getting there though.
Not that
Yeah.
hard. Like.
It was better than
But
like
again, like
the previous
that guy's,
one.
They're plastering around the cracks here.
that guy's like 32, 33. Why didn't they just fucking say, let's just get Koulibaly? Someone like that. Do you know?
I don't know the funds there. Like
But they spent 70 on Pepe and
They,
true.
they
But
have
they're all
bought that Saliba guy who's, I mean, I know he's only 18, but he's really good. From what I follow now because he's on loan for the year.
Yeah.
And he's really good. Like, it's like St. Etienne, that's the team he's playing for, they keep like 9 clean sheets in 10 games when he plays, and without him they concede like 20 goals in 10 games or something. And I've watched highlights of him. I know you can be fooled by highlights. I think he looks like the real deal to me. We'll see in the next PUPcasts over the years. We'll be like, what were you
can't
thinking?
believe
This
you
will
thought
make
that.
the
Oh, that was a
compilation.
fucking good player. Oh my god, he's
No,
Mustafi
but that
2.0.
would be great though. Like that, but that's what they need. They need someone to fill in for this fucking 33-year-old David fucking Luiz.
David Luiz is not the problem. I don't think David Luiz is a problem in this team.
I think the whole
he's a big
system.
problem.
I think the biggest problem is that
I haven't seen much of Arsenal, but when I have, he's been minced or made been sent off for something
I think
ridiculous.
Ozil is just ridiculous at this point.
Yeah.
First of all, the wage, we all know the wage, but Arteta's been starting him. He's giving him his chance. He's like, okay, you're starting every game from now on. Let me see what you can do. What can you bring to this team? Because we need someone to create chances. He's got 1 assist in 11 games and no goals, and he's been shocking.
And
I fucking hate Ozil, and I have hated Ozil for since the season after they signed him. I can't believe this fucking guy. I'm so sick of seeing his fucking face. I hate him. And the worst was
soundbite.
As the year after they signed him, I was like, this guy is not the guy, but they spent so much money on him. At the time, it was the record by about 3 times their record, 40 million. The previous record was Arshavin for 15, or Reyes for 15, both 15 anyway. And I was like, okay, well, we spent so much money on him, we can't get rid of him, and everyone seems to think he's great. And it's been years and years and years, and people still think he's great. I can't believe it. I've had to pretend that I think he's great as well at times. I've been like, Ozil, great player. And I've had to keep it inside. I fucking hate Ozil. Just oh my god, throw him in the bin. I'm so sick of looking at
Henderson or Ozil?
Henderson.
Can I put you on the spot a bit here? And just
anyone
take a second to think of it, but can you think of someone that you'd put in that position? Would you prefer someone like Maddison or Grealish or something?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah? Absolutely. Maddison or Grealish, fucking brilliant.
So why don't they just do that? Why don't they go, fuck this then?
Well,
because who wants him?
That's the thing, is you can't even give him to China because he came out criticising the Chinese government. You can't even give him to China because...
But he probably did that deliberately because they asked the board, what?
I think he did. Oh my god.
Well, I mean, I can't really top that. I was just about to say how, since the new year, on paper, it's not fabulous, but it's far better than what it was. Since the turn of the new year, Arsenal are unbeaten.
That's the thing.
1-2 rounds in the cup.
It's draws. I was saying to Adrian before we started, only the relegation teams have won less games in the league this season than Arsenal.
Yeah.
But only City and Liverpool have lost less games than Arsenal. So they're just drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing. And you can argue those are games that could have gone either way. So toss of a coin, they could have won any given amount of those games, or they could have lost any given amount of those games. I think they were under Emery, the draws, they were way closer to losing those draws than they were to winning them.
You were celebrating.
They were lucky to get draws. They were lucky to get a point out of West Ham or Watford or whoever the fuck. And under Arteta, it's been the Chelsea draw, or they actually lost to Chelsea. Sorry, they lost to Chelsea.
It was 2-2.
What the fuck? Am I remembering this wrong? This is
since the new year. They conceded. No, Bellerin's scored.
Yeah.
I thought it was 3.
No. This is
the first game.
They actually played them twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Arteta has managed them twice against Chelsea. So.
Sorry, it was 2-1.
Yeah.
And then there was the quick turnaround. And it was 2-2.
The first time, that was his first game in charge.
It was,
I think.
yeah. Because I was going to say that you've been unbeaten under Arteta, but
they lost that game.
One. Yeah.
And I was like, that stung because I was like, we were better than Chelsea in that game. Okay, fine, they lost. Yeah. And then the draw, I was like, they were playing with 10 men for 70 minutes after Mustafi then got David Luiz sent off. David Luiz taking
L's from Mustafi. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying, look, that was Mustafi's fault. But they should have won that game. I was like, geez, they were better than Chelsea with 10 men for most of the game. And I feel like they're the better team when I'm watching games. I'm like, Arsenal are the better team here in most of these games. Whereas under Emery, it was like, I've never felt Arsenal were the better team.
It's way less shaky. The one thing that has carried over from Emery, though, and it's part and parcel of tactics now, but this passing from the back and putting yourselves in unnecessary danger, it's just, some teams just can't do it. Arsenal being one of them, unfortunately.
I can't believe they haven't improved at all since Emery came in 2 years ago or whatever it was, year and a half, and day one from pre-season friendlies, practicing passing out from the back. And it was shaky, and I was like, they'll get better.
And here we are.
They're no better. Like, how is it possible they haven't improved?
But this is the
at
problem.
all? How have they not improved one bit?
Well, there's two things to that, right? Like, if they're incapable of it, change the tactics. But number two, what are the coaches doing? What are they saying? Oh, this is what you're doing wrong. They'll just be like, no, if you keep doing this 100 times a day, you'll get there eventually.
It's fucking mind-boggling that there hasn't been any improvement, because they pass it from the back and it's like 5 seconds later opposition has the ball and they're having a shot. I'm like, what?
Well, this is it. You were putting yourself under, like, I watched the Burnley game. For a 0-0 it was quite entertaining. Aubameyang missed a huge chance, but you were putting yourself under, like, unnecessary pressure against what are considered the league's arsehole, Burnley. So
It's hard.
but it is, if you want to refer teams to body parts, it's
okay.
it's the O's. But like he shouldn't do that. I mean, it was an okay point to pick up away from home, but like you can't have like Chris Wood charging the ball down when you've got like two Bambi-esque centre backs. So
look, this season is a write-off in the league. The only hope of anything. Okay, well, first of all, don't get relegated. I mean, it sounds ridiculous. It could happen.
Well, like this is
it's not impossible.
Arsenal are 10th as we speak.
I know.
Yes.
Look,
10th.
I think
it's only like 8-9 points off relegation.
I know. So I don't want to count chickens.
But 9 off Europe as well.
Yeah,
so.
but anyway, the league is a write-off. Forget it. Cup or Europa League is the only hope, really.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're not getting Europe. They're 10th and it's February. So forget it. So Europa League is the only hope this season. And we'll see. I mean, Arteta is obviously massively inexperienced. And anything he does this season, other than complete oblivion, I'll take it. Because, like, I said it with Emery when he came in. I'll give him a year, no matter what. No matter what happens, as long as they don't get relegated, I'll give him a year. After that, I'll start judging him. And I've started judging him after a year. And he wasn't any good.
Yeah.
But the first year is like,
do your thing,
do your thing, and we'll see. So I got to give Arteta as much time. I got to give him some time. I don't want to say as much time as he needs, because some people, they need a long time, and it's no good. But I'll give him a year, and we'll see.
I think we're going to give Arsenal Fan TV a run for their money with that Ozil rant right there. All you need is your hat yanked off your head now by someone.
Felt good to say I
do you know
fucking
that was,
hate Ozil.
Do you know that was that was a Crystal Palace fan that took the hat off off DC, yeah. What a prick.
Yeah, I think it's the last thing I'll say. It's a huge summer for Arsenal.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Fucking great team to manage in FIFA or Football Manager next year. Rid them.
Yeah. But that's like, look, Aubameyang is getting on. David Luiz is.
That's the thing. It's like anyone. I wouldn't be mad if they sold anyone on the team. Like anyone, I would be like, okay, because we can do better, or they want to leave, or they're getting old, or they're always injured. So other than Martinelli's the only one. But even if like a lot of money came in, I'd be like, he's had 6 months.
Like
you're take it.
You know, if you lose Aubameyang this year, I don't know, can you get in a striker of similar quality? But because,
almost certainly not.
If he finished 10th, like, and he's the guy who's been getting you goals.
I think he wants to leave, and I don't resent him for it. It's different. This is a different case to like Van Persie. I even didn't mind like Clichy or Sagnac. It's like whatever. They don't have really Arsenal products.
Yeah.
But like, alright, Van Persie came when he was a teenager. And Arsenal stuck with him when he was shockingly shite for a lot of it, and when he was always injured, which was for most of it, and he has one good season, and it's like, okay, I'm off to Man United. I'm like, you.
Well, he was a cunt. Let's be fair.
So like Aubameyang, if he wants to leave, I understand, because also we're a million miles away from challenging for League or Champions League or anything like that. So, and he deserves. He's good enough to play for Barcelona or Madrid or someone. So.
But that's why I say it's a huge summer.
I know. I think he'll leave this summer as well. And
Because you could be left just picking up very mediocre players then to fill a gap.
Yep. Well, I think one bright spot is the youth players are looking pretty good. There are some decent young players.
Yeah, I guess.
That's about it. That's about it. All
That's
I can
the
say.
silver lining.
Yeah, even under Emery, the young players, I was like, at least they're getting game time and they look alright. That's about it.
Just having a quick glance there at the form table. One thing that stood out to me is that there's very little form in the league. It's only really Liverpool who are obviously unbeaten.
Yeah.
But West Ham are the only kind of traditionally out of form team with like no wins in 5. But even if you look down at City are 1-3 drawn 1 lost 1. Leicester, they've had a bad few weeks. Chelsea too. You look at the form table, it's very inconsistent. I think it kind of summarizes this year, and this is why I'm liking watching football so much this Premier League season, because even though there's runaway leaders, there's quite a lot of it's up for grabs still. Hence Sheffield United in 6th, and I want to just have make a statement if I can. I think for every single podcast this year, I've said some mean things about Everton. Now they still hold up, but I have to recognise that they're sat in 7th now, which Carlo Ancelotti turned it around.
Yeah, kind of not even noticed how good they've been doing.
Nope.
They've just been tipping away, getting their wins. Nothing outrageous,
No.
but Calvert-Lewin
Yes.
has been amazing.
Richarlison's been great. That was one I suppose we didn't mention in the transfer section, was that crazy bid for him from Barcelona.
Supposedly.
If true, 2 things. Why do you want to keep him? And why do Barcelona want him?
I think he's good.
I like him too. Is he Barcelona caliber though?
I don't.
Is anyone these
I
days?
don't really know what Barcelona caliber is at this stage.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
take
they're
Messi
another-
aside.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Speaking of Messi, also had a more than public, I guess, feud or a bit of a tiff,
Spat.
a bit of a spat.
Handbags.
Yeah, a bit of handbags. We could go on for days.
Let's go.
We can't get the cliches right, like
Paper
paper
over
over the cracks. With director of footbol. Yeah, I think he's director of football. Yeah. I guess it's about commitment and whatnot. Now he doesn't seem to be going anywhere. But hypothetically, he can give a month's notice to Barcelona when his contract is up and say, I'm going elsewhere. Who, again, it's very hypothetical, because I see him staying with Barcelona indefinitely, and I see him then going into a coaching role or to a sporting director or something like
I
that.
could see him going to a team outside Europe, like maybe MLS or maybe South America.
I'd hate
Where
the
did he
MLS.
start again? What was his?
Well, he's always Barcelona, right?
Well, he was like a young, when he was like 12, he was like a Newell's, is it?
Newell's Young Boys, like Newell's Boys or something.
Is it
He
old
definitely-
boys? I think?
Old Boys, yes.
Oh,
It's Young Boys.
young boys and old boys.
Well, I'll pause
All
to
the
Wikipedia
boys.
it.
About
We don't
medium-aged
mind.
boys.
That's a 10.
Gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, Messi would have been, I guess, nearly all his life in Spain with Barcelona, but he would have originally for 6 years, so basically from when he was like 6 years old, been with Newell's Old Boys.
Oh,
Not young boys who are in Switzerland, or boys that are around the world somewhere in between.
Boys who are around the world somewhere in between.
I could have just said Celtic.
That's a team.
Celtic boys.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Not bad. Oh, yeah. Not any unproven allegations against Celtic coaches.
God, that was like stepping on broken glass. That was terrible.
Every sentence hurt. But yeah, I mean, hypothetically, if he did say, give his month's notice that, hey, I'm leaving Barcelona.
Month's notice.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
like,
Yeah, he has a clause in his contract that he can give Barcelona 1 month that he can go anywhere else. He doesn't have to see out a contract. There'd be no legal ties. So it is a little bit
Wow,
like a
what?
workplace.
I never heard of that in
never
a
heard that?
footballer's contract.
That's
No.
what the argument was over.
yeah, no, there is a thing in Messi's contract that he can leave at the end of any
Wow.
season.
Anytime he wants. Yeah.
Jeez.
So I know you were saying perhaps the MLS or South America. So yeah, would he? I guess I would like if he went back to the original team because that's really cool. I'd absolutely hate it if he went to America. I just don't.
Yeah, that would suck.
Don't feel it. It's not authentic.
I don't think he would. I mean, he doesn't speak English. He'd probably have a shit time over there. Yeah. You know, I think a lot of.
I mean, Spanish is a national language. Though.
Never say never in football. Fucking Jeff Hurst played for Cork City.
Yeah, it's true. Georgie Best.
What are we talking about?
I'm just saying, never say never.
Never.
Like,
okay,
these mad transfers.
I thought you
were
desperately trying to change the subject for some reason.
That was some segue on it. Let's talk about Cork City.
I don't know. I don't see him going to America. I would love to see him play somewhere in Europe and like flop though. You know, that would be great.
You want to see flop?
I just think it would be good crack.
I feel that way sometimes. Not even about football players, but when someone's really good at something, sometimes you just want to see him.
Yeah,
fail
I'd love to see him like do maths or something.
You want to see him be human, right?
Yeah,
because they're always so superhuman in what they do. Yeah,
Oscars on Monday. I think that way about directors. Sometimes I'm like, they've only made good movies. I want them to make one bad one just so I know they're human.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And make myself feel better. But
yeah. Well, Messi, this is it. Is that for all his kind of minor flaws that we've seen come up, like with the tax stuff and whatnot, like. He's just perfect on the pitch.
Oh yeah,
he doesn't do anything wrong. Even when Barcelona are terrible, he was great.
I feel really bad in myself for not watching more of like Barca games because I know when he retires, I'll be like, why the fuck didn't I watch? Like he was the best ever. Why didn't I watch him?
Well, we are lucky that I think his best performances for me came in the Champions League. And I think we're lucky that all of those are like documented and can be watched rather easily.
Yeah, I probably watched actually half of them were against Arsenal, so I watched firsthand. Yeah, shit. Yeah, telling my grandkids about that.
I know. Yeah.
Why do you support Arsenal, Granddad? I'm a fucking idiot. And Ozil's still here.
Manager.
No. Fun.
Oh, yes. I guess is there any other business that we want to kind of cover while we're in the flow of things?
While we're here, I do want to talk about Pep Guardiola.
Go on.
All right.
The bold fraud.
I think he's going to leave. I think he's come in, he's won what he wants to, and now he doesn't give a shit. I think he kind of was like, if this season goes well, class. But if not, meh. And that's exactly what happened. Because he
doesn't hang around.
He should have bought a defender. People go on about, well, Laporte was injured. Like,
how do they not have a backup?
They have 3 defenders. Am I right in that?
And most of them are injured, yeah.
Otamendi, Stones, and Laporte. So if one gets injured, they're fucked. If 2 gets injured, they're triple fucked.
That happened.
Like they didn't replace Company.
Yeah,
they didn't even cover him. Like,
Sané was injured. They should have loads to cover him, but seemingly not.
No.
David Silva is leaving at the end of the season. It just feels like his second season they had it perfect. They had it absolutely perfect. And De Bruyne got injured that season.
Yeah.
But he had backup. Yeah. It was perfect. But he just hasn't built a squad that's sustainable. And as we said before, Aguero's getting old. Silva's leaving. Fernandinho's old. Like when you take out the oldies and the ones that
are injury prone as well.
Yeah. It's really not a great squad, to be honest.
Pep Guardiola screams to me as a bit of a sore loser now. The more I see and the more I think of it, he's admitted defeat essentially to Liverpool, and that's when he's kind of just been like, meh, fine, whatever. Yeah, he's not you kind of get, if it was Klopp, for example, Arteta, even Pochettino, when he was at Spurs, many times that they had interviews where it's like, yeah, it's not going so great, but like, we'll dig in, we'll get through this. You don't really hear that from him. It's kind of just been like, this is the reason now. What can you do? Football is football.
He looks like he doesn't give a shit to me. Some people think, I heard someone say he looks embarrassed. I think he looks like he doesn't give a fuck, to be honest. I heard a City person on, I don't know what fucking radio show it was, and they said, yeah, we need a few signings to like fix up. We need a striker, we need a winger, we need a midfielder, we need a fullback, we need a halfback. I was like, that's a fucking whole different team you're talking about. Like, but I think they're not far wrong.
No, and I think Aguero is going to be going as well too. he seems to be. Well, maybe he'll stay if a manager he respects or a manager comes in that he likes. But he seems to be the guy that gets sacrificed. When I saw when City went down to 10 men, who was it against recently? Went down to 10 men anyway. Maybe it was when Edison got sent off against Wolves. I think there was another one. But anyway, they took off Aguero to sacrifice for the covering defender or covering midfielder.
Yeah.
You don't do that. No, that's a bit of an insult to like the best striker in the league.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, for sure. And how he doesn't start every single game, I really don't get.
Yeah, if this is it, it's like I know that Jesus is there trying to like get his minutes in, but if I was Guardiola, I'd say, know your fucking place.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I'm sure you're getting frustrated, buddy, but did you see that guy over there? Yeah, I know he's dyed his hair a bit blonde on the top, right? But it is Sergio Aguero. Like, sit down.
He's like they're favourites for the Champions League,
but I don't see them getting past Madrid. I don't.
No.
I don't see them beating Real.
Oh shit! I forgot they're playing Real Madrid.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Interesting.
And, like on paper, they should be winning it. Like, but
not in this form either. That's the other thing too. Is like we're picking holes in all of the different aspects where they haven't replaced or where they're falling short now. But the form is rubbish too. They're dropping points. They're playing poorly. They're missing penalties. Like, that's the other thing. Is like you pay these guys a lot of money. Stick the ball in the back of the net from 18 yards. Like
when they're on though. Like City when they're on are better than Liverpool when they're on. I think.
You can argue that. Yeah.
No, I can understand that, but they don't have. It feels to me a lot of the time they either win like 3-4-5. 1 or 0, or they can't do it.
They blow teams out of the water more than Liverpool, but obviously Liverpool are winning.
That's like what Liverpool did 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Remember when Liverpool got to the first Champions League final? It was blitzing teams, and that's what they do. And if they can't do that, they really struggle.
No,
and then they'll bring on Aguero against fucking Palace.
Yeah.
And score a goal, and it's like, oh, he's done it, and then concede.
Yeah.
You know,
it's true that they're very good. Whether this is a Guardiola thing or just the players or it just happens, they're a very good like retaliation team now.
Yeah,
like everyone's talking about their upcoming game as being like for the life of me can't remember who it's against, but it's like Villa actually. I think it's Villa. Yeah. West Ham. Man City's next game is against West Ham, but everyone is saying that they're going to come out and they're going to unleash hell because of the bad form they've had, and it's like. They will. They likely will put 4 or 5 past West Ham, but
David Moyes there. I'm in danger.
But why can't you just? If you can summon that up because you've had a few bad results, just fucking do that all the time, right? Sure.
Yeah.
Surely.
I heard that Guardiola can be really intense. I'm sure you've heard this, like really intense. Like your life is about football now and only football. I think Henri said it. Even.
Yeah.
That at Barca he was like, you live and breathe and eat football now. You know.
This is nutritious.
I think I heard a point made that like that is really good for a season or two. But when you're coming into work after 3 years and this guy is like, "What the fuck do you mean you weren't watching football last night?" Or like, "Oh, come on, it's football." That can get really fucking irritating, I'd say.
imagine.
And I think a big thing is that the likes of Sterling is like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Relax, you know?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing to do in football isn't to be successful or to win. It's to refresh a successful team, which Ferguson did many times.
for sure.
And because it's like, one thing you can do in football is be like, you build your team and you've got your first team players and then you have your backups, and it's sort of, you have to have decent backups and you have to tell them play well this week in the cup or whatever and maybe you'll get a chance in league, and that works for so long until eventually they're like, I'm not getting my chance here, so why do I bother? Or the players they supplant, they take the spot from the players in the first team, and the players in the first team then like, oh shit, well I may as well not even bother now. So they turn to shit. And then you have like a totally imbalanced squad, and it's really hard to get it right. You have to get rid of good players constantly, and it's really hard to do that, to know who to sell and when to sell them, or who to buy. And that's probably the hardest thing to do in football.
For sure. And like you mentioned, while you were saying it, I was trying to think of anyone else, but yeah, Fergie did that the best. where he would
Wenger
sacrifice.
did it too.
No, that's fair.
That's fair. I mean, I
That's
know he
fair.
had
It just
a
wore.
bad
It
ending.
wore out. Yeah, it wore
Yeah.
out a little bit, but it's true, and it is very difficult. Like you're basically sacrificing 6 months to a season to take one, title-winning team
Yeah.
to a new one. So yeah, I agree with you. There's more credit to that, and I don't know, does Guardiola do that because he's quite short-term reigns? He kind of just gets
Yeah.
things while they're hot,
Yeah.
makes them red hot, and then pisses off.
Yeah, big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fraudiola. Done it.
Yeah.
Where do you think he'll go next, though, if he goes?
On a fucking bender.
He saves all
Benidorm.
his energy when he's like, "Oh, you only think about
Yeah.
football now. Now we only think about points.
Yeah.
You have to eat, drink, sleep, points."
I don't know. Maybe like
Juve.
Spanish national job or something.
Juve, I'd say.
Yeah, probably Juve.
Because there's nothing, or PSG, because there's nothing appealing about a national manager's job, because it's not the take them while they're hot and make them great, because you have to, it's
Yeah.
like over 4 years. You know?
I just think he's kind of nearly done everything now. And I could see him.
Give himself a break, maybe.
Yeah, I think he'll take a year out and then maybe Juve or, like you said, PSG. But I think eventually he'll probably just take over the Spain job. He'll probably win the World Cup
He's
and
still
then be like,
so
I'm
young.
done.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's in his 40s, isn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah.
Because he was manager of Barcelona at like 38 or 39 or
Nuts,
something.
Yeah, nuts.
Well,
Yep.
Arteta's 37.
Well,
There we go.
so what you're saying is he'll be winning things with Barcelona in 3-4 years' time.
Yep. I mean, if he's good enough to get there, that means he's done something with Arsenal. So,
Got fired.
yeah.
Maybe.
we'll see.
Do you want to bother doing a fancy football thing? We can.
I mean, our loyal fans wait on. No, I don't know. I don't mind.
I'm
Alright.
I'm
It's not really the week to do fantasy football.
I think I'm okay with it.
I think I'll just say that. I just want to say I was wrong about Zidane. I just want to say that.
You want to say you were wrong about Zidane?
Yeah.
Okay. Take the floor.
Yeah, you know, actually, just speaking about Madrid, I was wrong about Zidane. I thought he was a shit manager who was like coasting on the work of Ancelotti and just got lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And now this season, I'm like, I don't watch a lot of Madrid or their games, but I've seen a couple games, and I'm like, wow, you really just made brilliant tactical changes there that I didn't think he was capable of. And they're top of the league now, and they've only lost like one game in the league this season, and they're pretty good. And well, Zidane might not be the ball fraud that I thought he was.
Do you think you were wrong about him as a player?
No, there's nothing that can change that.
Guys,
Like,
you have to wait a few weeks
I
until
can
we
get
get that one.
like we get new information about him as a manager every week, but he's finished as a player. We have the conclusions.
I thought that's what you were gonna turn back on.
Oh no, I
No?
would never say I'm wrong about that.
Okay.
Well, bringing up Zidane means that we can close out the podcast with the greatest song ever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
If you've not heard this before, like stick around for the end credits, because Flynn's gonna. We'll just cut to the chorus, because that's the best bit.
All right, go on.
But yeah, thank you very much for listening to the 6th Put 'Em Under Pressure podcast. You can listen to, and you are listening to this on YouTube. You can find our updates on Facebook, and hopefully we'll have it on some other streaming services in the coming weeks. Stay tuned.
Good luck.
Alright, see you later. Bye.
But we're not paying.
Zinedine Zidane.